Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Classic Comics. And hey, good news! DC is going to be rebooting its continuity again. Never mind that this is the fourth reboot in about a decade. And I really think this is pretty telling because, first of all, it tells us that this woke direction that DC has taken its characters for the last few years isn't working. You don't reboot your universe if sales are great. You do it because sales are low and you don't know what else to do in order to get a boost in sales. So why is DC doing this now? I mean, have they wised up and realized that this woke crap doesn't sell? Can we look forward to better comics from DC in the future? I think the answer to this is yes and no. As this article mentions, DC has a ton of debt. About 55 billion, supposedly. And David Zaslav, the exec who's been put in charge of Warner Brothers Discovery, he's been making a lot of high-profile moves in order to cut costs. Now, as this article tells us here, so Zaslav is looking for 3 billion in post-deal savings. First to go was the CNN streaming service, as these pages reported previously. A big budget likely flop, Batgirl, a woke reset of the DC character, was canceled before it could lose even more money than the tens of millions already spent. He's also merging his streaming platform, HBO Max, with Discovery Plus in order to save money, and a lot of layoffs are probably going to be coming once that's done. But with $55 billion in debt, cutting $3 billion isn't really going to come close to solving the problem. So if Zaslav can't get rid of all this debt, what can he do? Well, he can sell Warner Brothers Discovery to another company. And it looks like that may be what's going to happen. Warner Brothers Discovery and NBC Universal could merge in 2024. NBC Universal, I believe, is owned by Comcast, and then they would take on the debt, or at least help Warner Brothers Discovery pay it off. And what's driving all this? Well, it's the stock price, of course. Warner Brothers Discovery stock has been taking a beating, and Zaslav is trying to sell the whole thing off and get the best sale price he can on Warner Brothers Discovery that he can get. To do that, he needs to get the stock price up or at least stop the bleeding. Now, part of that may be trying to get the comic book division turned around and selling comics at a profit again. And thus we get Dawn of the DCU. Yet another reboot of DC's continuity. This will be, again, this is like the fourth time in about 10 years, or actually 11, that DC's going to reboot their comic line. DC undertook a full reboot of its continuity in 2011 with Flashpoint, which led into the New 52. Now, that lasted about 4 years, maybe 5. Then we got Rebirth, which was kind of a partial reboot. And that lasted, I don't know, a year and a half, maybe a couple of years. And then after that, we got a reboot after Dark Knight's Death Metal, or whatever it was called, which led into Future State, which then led into Infinite Frontier, during which DC started shifting its emphasis to more quote-unquote diverse characters, like the gay Jonathan Kent Superman, Nubia, the Black Wonder Woman, the Black and gay Aquaman, among others. Now, not surprisingly, sales plummeted, with most of DC's titles, except maybe some of the Batman books, falling out of the top 50 completely. That, of course, is leading to DC rebooting yet again in order to move its traditional heroes back to the forefront of its continuity. And the promotional art released by DC indicates this move. Again, it shows your 6 main sort of Justice League characters. And also, I believe, Shazam is shown in the promotional art. Where is that? Here we go, yeah. So then we see Shazam. We also see the Teen Titans, Nightwing, Starfire, and Cyborg, who seems to be back with the Titans instead of with Justice League, which is interesting. So does this mean that DC has seen the light and we're going to be getting good comics again? Well, don't bet on it. DC knows that a reboot will, in the short run at least, lead to a boost in sales. Most of their books will restart with new #1 issues, probably, and collectors will rush in to snatch up those #1s because #1s are viewed as always being valuable collectibles. That's what happened with the New 52. Sales shot up on all the new titles for about maybe 3 months, and then sales started dropping again. But Zaslav and DC will be betting on fans to come running back and buy into this new reboot, no doubt with plenty of new variant covers to help inflate the sales even more. This will help make Warner Brothers Discovery more valuable, or at least appear to be, perhaps even profitable, and therefore a more appealing target for corporate acquisition. In addition, it looks like Zaslav is going to start licensing DC properties to other publishers, letting them take on the expense of creating new content with these characters while sharing the profits. A good example of this is this new Batman Spawn crossover, which is going to be coming soon, which I believe is going to be published by Todd McFarlane's company. Now, I don't think this means that DC will just stop publishing, but we'll likely see more DC content that isn't part of DC's regular continuity. But don't be fooled by this. While DC is putting the emphasis back on characters that we like, again, like the Bruce Wayne Batman, the Clark Kent Superman, Hal Jordan Green Lantern, etc., the people who are making these books likely aren't going to change. It's going to be the same mediocre SJW hacks making these books. They may be on good behavior for a while, but if the sale to NBC Universal goes through, you can bet that these clowns will be right back to churning out the same crap they were making before. The reason their books suck is because they're being written by woke hacks, and that's not likely to change. There may be a few decent writers still around, like I think Venditti is pretty good, and I know there's some other ones. Oh, Jeff Johns. So Jeff Johns is coming back, and he's going to be doing this book with Stargirl and the Justice Society. That'll probably be pretty good. But I can't think of any other good writers at DC right now. There are a few good artists, like Dan Mora, who, again, did this promotional art. He's really good. But most of them will be the same low-tier talent that they've been using for the last few years. I don't think these people are capable of making good comics, even if they wanted to. So don't let these people fool you into thinking there's going to be some big change. Any changes will likely be cosmetic, and once Warner Brothers Discovery gets sold off and they don't have Zaslav looking over their shoulders, they'll be back to their old tricks, shoving woke characters that nobody wants down our throats and calling us all bigots when we don't buy them. Don't be fooled. These people haven't changed. They still don't like you. They still don't like these characters. They just have to pretend to because things are so bad at Warner Brothers Discovery right now that they have to start showing some kind of tangible success. The minute they don't, it's going to be all back to the way it was before. Unless there's some kind of wholesale house cleaning at DC that shoves the current crop of creators out the door, things aren't really going to change. Now, what do you think of Dawn of the DCU? Do you think I'm right? Or are you looking forward to the new reboot? Let me know in the comments. And before you leave, please do sub to the channel. Please hit the bell for notifications and share this video. And I will see you all next time. Thanks for watching.